to a Sturmpanzer.com video. I just wanted to take time to do a quick tutorial on K.St.Ns. These are the German tables of organization and equipment, and I just kind of realized that maybe I was taking some things for granted as far as everybody being familiar enough with them. So I'm just going to run through one pretty quickly here. So this is a German K.St.N. It is translated into English, just to make it easier to see and read and understand the different sections. This K.St.N, the number's at the top right-hand corner. This is number 149V. It is a Volksgrenadier K.St.N. If we scroll down to the bottom of the page, you see it's got a date. So K.St.Ns are usually categorized by number and then the date version of that number. This is a Fusilier company for Volksgrenadier Division. I selected it because it has a variety of different types of units. It's kind of like a condensed battalion unit because it has a heavy gun section, it has an infantry gun section, heavy weapons section and an infantry gun section. So I thought it might be more interesting to review this. I will also have copies of this K.St.N and this version in English and in German. And I'll put a link in the show notes to a blog post where you can download all these documents that I might bring up. So this is, first we'll go out through the columns. So the first column is the line number. And that's basically so you can kind of reference which line information's on. The thing to keep in mind is that not all K.St.Ns, even though they are the same K.St.N number and the same version number, version date, they are not always going to be formatted exactly the same as in the line number, especially, of course, obviously towards the bottom of the pages will not line up. Second column is the rank group. So this column kind of identifies what the ranks that are appropriate for the position that are being covered in the main column. So the main column says company commander. So we see here company commander. It is a K rank group. And I'll cover later on where you might get information on what different ranks fall into these different groups. So if we look at this one here, we look at the columns across the top. Sections are the manpower section, the animal section, the weapons section, and the vehicle section. So if we were to highlight the company commander, we see that he is an officer. That position of company commander for this company, this K.St.N, is an officer, and his weapon is a machine pistol, which is the one that's in parentheses. And he's also authorized a bicycle. If we go down to the medical NCO, we see that he's in the NCO column, and he is authorized a pistol. So basically, you're going to look at a position down the main column and go across columns to figure out what kind of rank this person would be, which category they fall under, officer, NCO, or enlisted, what kind of weapons are they assigned. These are personal weapons. This is typically going to be a rifle, a pistol, a machine pistol, and bicycle. Also, motorcycles are assigned to specific positions. All other heavy weapons, vehicles, things of that nature are basically at the very bottom, where we can see here for this MP bicycle platoon at the very bottom, the light machine gun is not really assigned to any individual. It's not in a position. So what we notice here is that basically the first section covered in the K.St.N is going to be the command section, the headquarters section, the commander section that identifies that small unit. So sometimes that may just be the commander himself. In this case, we see we have a section leader, we have some messengers, radio operators, and snipers within this command section. Then we go to the first MP bicycle platoon. So this is the thing about a Fusilier company, it is a bicycle company. So they're all going to be bicycles. They're all going to have bicycles. So you have a platoon leader, you have a platoon section, and then you have the first and second MP section, and then you have section 3, which is a non-machine pistol section. It's just a regular rifleman. And then you have the light machine gun, and then you have a total. And then you notice that the second MP bicycle platoon is identical to the first. As we scroll down, we now realize that the third platoon is just a standard bicycle platoon. So no more, looks like I passed it up, starting there. So no more MPs, and it's just basically rifle platoons. Then our fourth platoon is a heavy platoon, and this is the platoon I was kind of referring to that kind of correlates a little bit with some of the heavy companies in a battalion and an infantry gun company in the regiment. So here we have a platoon section for the platoon leader, driver, RSO, stretcher bearers, kind of like the general troops of the platoon. And then we have a heavy MG section that has 2 machine guns. And then we have an 8-centimeter mortar section that has 2 mortars. Then at the very end, we have an infantry gun platoon that has 2 infantry gun 37s. And then we come to the baggage platoon, baggage section. So if we look at the totals here, so we'll come down to the very last page, and we see we have a summary section. This is a quick place to go look and see what kind of subunits are going to be located within inside the company. So we see here as a headquarters section, 1 MP bicycle platoon, 2 second MP bicycle platoon, then just a regular platoon, heavy platoon, and a light infantry gun platoon, and then the baggage. And then you also have the totals for all sections here. So this is a good place to get a quick review of what is located inside of the K.St.N, this unit for the K.St.N. At this very bottom section here, it's basically talking more about personnel positions, not specific people, but what certain positions may or may not do, how many men are going to be assigned to a stretcher bearer unit, how many men, and who's responsible for the gas detection unit and things of this nature. Very quickly, I want to cover the rank groups. Now, I've got to document this. When I was working on these K.St.Ns, this was, back in June of 2008. Right after this time, Doug Nash came out with the book. I think it was either late 2008 or 2009. And the book was on the 272nd Volksgrenadier Division. I mean, the book was Victory Was Beyond Their Grasp. And it actually was more specifically about their it was about the Volksgrenadier Division, but more specifically about their Fusilier Company. So what I did is when I read the book, and this was, like I said, back in 2008 or 2009, I took some notes, and you can kind of correlate the K.St.N to the positions that are mentioned in the book. So if we look at the company commander, he's a rank group of K, 1 officer. So here we see we have a first lieutenant, Heinz Kolb, as the company commander. And I'm going to go to a ranks tab that I have. So these are all the ranks and their the ranks group identified and what ranks going. So if we go down to K, we see that for battery, squadron, company commanders are the officers in the K group, and this typically are ranks of captain, but ours is a first lieutenant. But what happened, of course, late in the war is a lot of the positions could not be filled by the ranks that they were required, so lower ranks were brought into those positions. I will include these rank groups. I'll try to take this whole Excel document that I have and create some documents to include in the download for this video. But I want to point out that these rank groupings are not mine. Leo Niehorster created these documents on his website, and it's got the link here, so I'll include the link. Also, there is a position definitions that he has on his website as well, so I will include these and the link on his website. So these are all his. Those are not mine. Also, I also used Tom Houlihan's book to look up all these definitions, so I will include a link to his book as well. So this probably took a little longer to cover than I thought, so I'll go ahead and stop it here. But if I think of anything else, I'll put it in the show notes on the blog and have some downloads for that. Anyways, thank you very much for viewing, and if you found it useful, leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up or something so I can kind of tell if this information is actually being useful to people or not. Thanks again.